another episode and another very special guest, Yung Savoye. This is something different, something I always want to do. It's interview an engineer. So you checking off my bucket list. I might also interview other engineers in the future, but you're my very first one. Well, second one, I guess. But you also did some music before, so basically, like, you can't say you never did this shit. Like,
sure, yeah.
So how was the transition like?
Shit, man. I mean, I've been playing instruments, like I'm a classically trained musician. I've been playing since I was 8. I'm 25 now. Like, I kind of wore all of the hats. Like, so like, I still like write music and like cut demos and all that. Just like my focus this season has just been like, okay, let me be like the best mix engineer I can be. And you know, so it's really just like, I don't know, I've always been obsessed with sound and just like getting the best sound possible, whether I'm producing, whether I'm writing, whether performing, mixing, whatever it is. Like, so yeah, I don't know. It just like,
you just love everything music, pretty much.
I'm just obsessed with it. Like, hence,
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. We need creators like that because it's not often we find creators that's like that. And how long you been with No More Heroes? Like, or did you start No More Heroes?
No.
What's the origin? I want to know.
No, I'm just laughing because the two guys who started No More Heroes, they'd be like, what? But nah, so basically No More Heroes is like a business, started off as like a music video production business, started by Laka Films, Chicago legend in like, you know, video director world. And then Brandon Holmes, who like did a lot of like DP work and everything, and just like shot a lot of music videos. I think their story is like they like met at like a cupcake video shoot or something, and they, you know, just kindred souls, like went on tour with like Juice WRLD together, just like filming his tour stuff and decided to make a company out of it. I think in like 2020, they bought the building for the studio we run now, and them not being like musicians or engineers or producers, like didn't realize it was gonna take a while, and it took a while to build out and everything, and like to like make it quality, like because they could have rushed it, but they decided to take their time, spend like the necessary amount of money and everything, and then at the top of this year, the same guy at Columbia, because that's my alma mater, shouts, same dude who put me on with Sob and the Pivot Gang, put me in connection with them. We just got along, and since then I've been head engineer over there and just, you know, helping all the artists on the roster like make better songs, like make better beats, and just like, you know, that's been it. So didn't start No More Heroes, but I'm definitely running the shit for our studio as well as like our artist development thing, so right now with all that. So
you gotta be obsessed with sound.
fully. Like it's been super dope just being able to work with artists and help craft them and be like, yo, we can make this catchy, yo, you can say this different, we can do that. So that's the very short version.
Yeah, I like how you very, very hands-on. So you don't you're an engineer's engineer, producer's producer, artist. Like you, that's amazing.
Thank you, man.
That you don't see, really don't. Like I said, you don't see that often because a lot of people just want to play one role.
Facts, yeah.
And don't want to really dip out of that one role.
Yeah.
So that's good that you're doing that, and it's amazing to see. So when was the transition out of artist into producer or engineer? What steps did you take?
I actually started out producing first when I was, 15? I was like 14, 15, started with FL Studio like everybody does. So yeah, started with that. And then after about like a year, I would say, of like making beats, I like, you know, just started writing, started rapping, figured that out. Like, so for me, my transition was like producer to artist and then artist to engineer. Like, and now I kind of just like wear all three hats. Like, it just depends on like where I'm at in life and like what I want to do. I don't know. I'm kind of like person that can just like knows like when to play their role. Like And that's what I pride myself on. Like, if this was like a basketball team, I'd be like, you know, just like a good role player. Like, okay, you need me to go out and score 30 tonight? Okay, cool. You need me to just get rebounds tonight? Okay, cool. Like, you need me to just assist tonight? Dope. You need me to just fuck this nigga for the whole 48 minutes? All right, cool. Like, so just whatever needs to be done, you know, I'll do it, you know, as well as I can.
So producer role was the hat first, and then artist role came after?
Yeah, producer, artist, and then engineer, just because I had like several just like shitty studio experiences. I was like, there has to be a better way to do this.
That will make you go to work.
Yeah. so
how many often, you know, how often did you go to studios and, you know?
Probably like every few months, because I was a high school kid, so, you know, like, I got bred like that. Like, you know, grew up in the hood and all that shit. Like, was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Like, our city's expensive as fuck. Like, so studio time out there was like at a premium, because it's like all like label based and like pretty much based for like artists who are like coming out of town, into town. So, you know, probably like every like 2-3 months or some shit like that. And just like had moments of just like engineers just like not caring. And like now being older, I understand that perspective of being like, I don't have to give a fuck. Like, I'm kind of doing this every day. But at the time, I took it personally because I was like 16, 17. So it's like, fuck you, I'm gonna figure this shit out. Like, lo and behold, here we are. But
okay. So you care now. You don't really push too many artists away, or do you like have a lot of difficult artists that you work with, or?
I think like my approach is like, I definitely have like artists that like I'm like locked the fuck in with, where I'm just like, okay, like I really like not only love the music, but I love the vision, and I'll help out however way I can. So like the top 3 artists, like they're just like in no particular order, but just that I've been working with the most this year has been like DCG Brothers, Nari, and then like Naomi G. And like for all 3, they just like need different things, and really just like need a point person who's like understands the studio and like understands how to like take a song from like conception until like the very end, like just in terms of the creative process. You know, different artists need like different things. For like Nari, so like, you know, me and him will like recently just been like co-writing a lot. Like I'm just like, yo, you should try this, like try saying this, try saying that, and flip it in his own way. For like DCG Brothers, it's just like, yo, like say that again, like yo, enunciate it, say it this way, like give this kind of energy, like, you know, try to make this shit more catchy. With Naomi, it's just like we're building everything from the ground up. So we're like, you know, co-writing, she's like co-producing in the sense of being like, yo, like I like that sound, oh I don't like that sound, and like the whole process is just collaborative. So in terms of like artists I love working with, those would be the top 3. And then like when I meet new artists, because like, you know, being an engineer, like you have to record a lot of like niggas you don't know. I just like try to just figure out their vibe, figure out their sound, make people comfortable, be like, yo, like from Chicago, what side? Oh shit, what was it like growing up there? Oh yeah, like what's your, you know, what you been on today? Like what you been getting into after this? Like just trying to, you know, just, you know, crack the egg a little bit just to figure out what their personality is. Like, yeah, whether they come in like singing on, rapping on some kill shit, or like singing on some like baby I love you shit. Like there has to be a personality there. Like there's gotta be something. So I don't know, that's my approach, is just to like be as much of a collaborator as the artist needs me to be, and that's gonna build over time. I can't just come in and be like, you gotta change this. Like I can't, like I could, but what's the point? Like,
right, exactly, yeah. Exactly. That's dope. So in your time when you create your art, how often do you create songs like?
Facts. Honestly, I've taken a break like the past 5 months just because I just want to like live life. I was like, I've been doing this pretty much every day since I was 15, of just like making beats, writing, doing this, doing that. And I was just like, just take a fucking break. Like, so in the past like 2 weeks, I've been getting back to it. Because I was just like, you know, you do the same thing every day for like 10 years. You kind of just like you get tunnel vision on yourself. Like, so recently it's just been kind of like now that I'm back to like making beats, I'm pretty much making beats like every day. You know, and like get back to like writing. Like for me, it's just been like writing hooks, just like figuring out what my voice sounds like again. And more so coming from the perspective now of like, okay, I'm gonna have songs I write for myself, and then I'm gonna have songs that I'm trying to like shop to other people. So that's
so
like,
you write for a lot of. Do you write for a lot of artists? Or
no, I mean, I wouldn't say I write for a lot of artists. I pretty much, my perspective is like, if I'm locked in with somebody, I'm just like helping them to write. So like, you know, with like Naomi, she's gonna come up with the idea, and I'm just like, yo, like, let's change this bar, like, let's go for this, let's go for that. Or she might even ask me, yo, like, do you have like a bar to like finish this or whatever? Like, so really, it's just like being a pinch hitter for artists. You want them to be creative and conceive the idea.
Right.
Me being in the new realm of like, oh shit, let me like write shit and like try and send it out to artists, it's like brand new, just like in the past month. Like, I'm just being like, shit, I don't want to always write about myself and my life.
Right.
Like,
For sure.
Yeah, like, sometimes it might just be like, I mean, if I did, it would just be, I'm tired. That'd be every song. It would be like, nigga, I'm tired. Like, that would be every fucking song. So, I don't know. That's like my perspective now. It's just like, okay, cool. Like, I definitely want to do my own shit, but like, I'm not obsessed with this being the only route. Like, and nor have I ever been. Like, I just want to be a good collaborator and just help out. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being that man behind it.
I don't mind. I have to deal with all the bullshit that the artists have to.
Yeah.
I get paid, and if you know me, cool, and if you don't, cool. That's fine.
Exactly. So, yeah, what's my next question? I don't want to sound like a fucking broken record, but I feel like, yeah, that's that. I did wear your hat and was in your shoes a while ago. Yeah. A while ago was wild. I was doing this. I was doing podcasting, music, and gaming. Or I stopped the music.
Facts.
And then I went to full podcasting. Then I went to gaming.
Facts. Okay.
So, but now I can stop the gaming now. But I'm only full podcasting now. So I'm wearing a lot of hats. That engineer bag, that producer bag, that artist bag. So I know I definitely see you and what you're going through, and I'm glad I'm not doing what you're doing. And I feel like the way you're approaching it is good though, because you know how to give yourself a break.
Yeah.
No, I did not know.
No.
So I just completely put down the artist bag completely.
Sure.
So that's why I see you and I'm like, damn, that's different.
No, you gotta know when to, and I definitely had my moments of just like being insane with it, where I'm just like, okay, cool, I'm gonna do like 65 hours this week or whatever, fuck, like I'm gonna just bomb. But, you know, there hits a moment where your body's just like, okay, either you're gonna keep pushing and like break the fuck down, or you gotta just woosah, you just gotta chill for a little bit. And I think it's really, I don't know, like with the artists I work with, I just keep it honest with them. Like I'll let them know, like, yo, I can't do today just cause like I'm really fucking tired, or like, yo, I'm burnt out on this end or that end. So really I just think it's about just pacing yourself and just realizing like, okay, like I want to work, I want to make money, but also like, let me not like kill myself like over this shit. Like it's just not at the place yet where I feel like I need to kill myself, because I'm already working super hard. Like I hope it never hits that point. Like even when we get to the point of like making platinum records and shit, I hope it's not at that point of like, damn, I'm killing myself. So you know, really I just think it's about pacing, realizing like if you have the energy to do some shit. Like last night I didn't have the energy to make beats. Okay, I'm not gonna make beats. I'm gonna go to sleep. Like
how often you booking studio time with artists and everything? How late you get in the studio?
If I don't have at least one session a day, at least that's weird. If I don't have two, that's like, if I don't have two, that's weird. If I don't have one, that's super fucking weird. So I'm pretty much like booked every day, unless like I hit the studio group chat and I'm like, yo, I'm not trying to work today. Like, but I'll let them know more, give them more time than that. Like, because that would just be a dickhead move. But like, if there's gonna be like a day or two where I'm just like, yo, I'm just gonna like take a break off, I'll let them know like 48 hours in advance. But I'm pretty much working every day. like,
so what do a typical day with you look like?
I would say like this weekend's a perfect example. We've got a 12 to 4, then a 4 to 7, then 7 to 9. Then I don't super feel like going out and like partying or nothing this weekend, so I'll probably just like slide back to the crib, get back around like 9:30, 9:45, make some beats till like 12, 1, go sleep, and then Sunday I got 2-7 and then 7-1. Like, so that's like a typical weekend.
Okay. So 2 to 3 sessions a day.
Pretty much, like doing at least 7 hours of work, anywhere from like 7 to 10 hours of work.
How many songs can people crank out in those?
Depends on the artist and depends on the goal for the day. Like for this Sunday is 2 to 7. He's a melodic artist. He takes his time, and we're really like focusing on the songwriting craft right now. Just like making records, like shit people can latch onto. So in those 5 hours, if we push, we can get like 4 done. But I think it would be like 4 end songs. So our goal is to just get like 2 fire ones done and then like 1 hook idea. Like with the 7-1, like I'm more hands-on than an approach of like, okay, I just want to make you sound the best. Like y'all have a very unique sound. Y'all know what y'all are doing. And the most I'll push them to do is just be like, yo, take that little tidbit and like let's repeat this, or like let's build around this for the hook. If they're working in those 6 hours, they could probably get 6 done. Like, but typically we sitting at 3 to 4 songs done for a 6-hour kind of range, because like they're younger than me. I'm 25. They're like what, 19, 20. So like they like need time just like in between songs, just like sit back, bullshit a little bit, like talk a little shit with their producer, their friends, whatever the fuck. Like just depends on every artist's personality. Like I know for tomorrow's 12 to 4, that artist, he's like an indie artist, like in terms of like sound, like indie rock type shit. Get along really well because like, you know, I play guitar, I like producing beats for him and shit. Like I just know how to organize his songs. He's coming in. I know he's gonna come in and try to do like 6 songs in like 4 hours. And I have to tell him like, no, we're doing 4 in 4 hours. Let's really take our time. So it just depends on the artist's personality. Some artists are like, I gotta fucking get to it, and then other ones are just like, nah, like let me trust the process. So, you know, depends on each artist's personality. Like some you gotta slow down, some you gotta be like, yo, okay, let's pick it up. Like you've done 2 songs in 5 hours, nigga. Like let's finish 1 more at least. Like,
right, yeah.
So depends, you know.
Okay. So dang, I just had it. If you come across an artist that that's not really, you know, I guess good in the studio, like can knock out songs like that, how often is it super difficult to get them to, you know, to record them, and then they at the end of their session and it'd be like, oh damn, I want to get like 2 more songs done. What do you do with that type of artist?
If that happens and I have the time, I'll be like, okay, like, hey, if you have the bread, then book me for more hours, cool. Like that would be the business answer. But like, if I see like an artist, you know, struggling, and I don't have like the best of relationship. Well, honestly, whether or not I know them well, you know, I'll just be like, oh, like maybe let's move on to another idea. Like maybe like this one isn't ready for the studio yet. Like, because sometimes artists will like hear the idea in their head and then they'll get on the mic. And I think that's what people don't realize is that a studio performance sounds nothing like a live performance. Like the studio is its own instrument. Like, and you gotta know how to play that motherfucker, but like how to work with someone who knows how to play it. Like, so, you know, I would just tell artists, move on. Let's get to another idea. Like, if they really are like, no, I'm doing this, I'll be like, okay, cool. Like, all right, sweet. Like, you gotta kind of like take the lead. Then, like, I'll try to help as best I can. But, like, you know, it just depends on the artist. Some artists get it and understand like the vocal coaching side of things. Which I have like decent relative pitch, so I'm able to help with that. Right. Like, depending on the artist, like Naomi, I'll have like my piano app open on my phone and be like, oh, we're trying to get this. Like, and she'll be like, oh, okay, cool, oh, yep, all right, dope. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, some artists can't do that. So really, it just depends. My best advice, and usually what I go to in those situations, I'll be like, let's just move on. Like, why, you know, try to get this idea done. Like, let's, you know, if you book me for like 5 hours, like, yeah, you gotta have more than one idea you come in with. Like, unless you like fucking Whitney Houston and you're gonna do a ballad with a bridge and shit, like you probably have something else to work on. So that'd be my best advice. Just move on.
Exactly. So what's your favorite type of music to like work on as far as like genre?
Actually, man, this is hard. Because it just depends on the perspective. I would say production-wise, I love like making R&B and like indie rock stuff. I love that shit so much. I also make like trap and rap as well, but like I have to just like be in, for that I have to be in a mindset and just like, yo, I'm just like in the mode. Like, yo, I just had a crazy good workout today. Yo, like somebody just like hyped me up, somebody put the battery in my back. But like if it's just like an everyday like today, I'll probably go for like R&B, indie rock, what's now known as lo-fi hip hop, which is a whole another conversation unto it of itself. If it's coming from like a writing and engineering perspective, honestly, I like working with like rappers and R&B singers the most. Cause like with like rappers, it's just like I can just give my alter ego, just like okay, we pop shit, like if that's what we known for. Like okay, cool. Like you need like the most fire bar, most swagged out shit. All right, cool. I can figure that out. Like I can hype myself up. Sure, we can do that. Like and you know shit like that just like helps like put a smile on my face, helps make a day better. If you're like stressed out or some shit, and like somebody comes in and just like needs like help, right? Some like turned up shit. Like, okay, cool. Let me get in the mindset. I'm not nigga, and then help see what you day. You like damn, I'm not nigga. Like so yeah, I would say definitely R&B and like rap and indie rock are kind of tied. And then if I'm just like playing around, I'll like play around like Afro beats or like house or some shit. If I'm just like if I don't feel like working on anything serious.
Right.
So yeah, all over the place, but those would be my top three. Yeah.
Let's see. I had one that's always like this. So how often do you go to like live performances and watch like open mics and stuff like that? Or do you get chances to do that often?
I haven't had as many chances this year. I actually had a conversation with one of the owners of the studio and like founders of Nowhere Heroes last night, just like about like artist development. He was just like talking to me like, yo, like, if there's anybody you want to build with, like outside of people you're working with now, like you should find them. You should try to bring them into the studio, like help develop them. And I realized like while we was talking, I was like, damn, I don't think I've like found anybody like new in Chicago in the past few months. And I think it's just because I haven't been going to open mics. Like I've been going to live performances, but like usually it's like, oh, one of my artist friends or whatever will like invite me, be like, yo, bro, like, yo, like here's a ticket, or like whatever, or da-da-da. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I'll show up. Like, or it'll be like a big concert like the weekend. I don't know that nigga. I'm paying like everybody else. Like, right. You know, so it's just like, okay, like, so that's definitely like a bag I want to get back into, just because I feel like Chicago, like, as much as I like love drill and I like love like the melodic polo G sound and all that shit, I feel like in terms of what's now known as like alternative hip hop, like there aren't a whole lot of young artists who are like big doing that right now. But I do know that whole scene and pretty much like a lot of the artists in that scene, but I don't know like the new younger ones. Like I know everybody who's like 21 to 25 in that scene. But I want to know like, yeah, I'll call them Chicago, the shorties. I want to know like who's like that like 16 to 19, like who's fresh in it, who's just like, I'm new to this shit. So I do gotta start going back to open mics because I haven't been. I definitely want to tap back into that scene because I definitely think niggas are starting to look at me like, oh, he just mixes drill shit. And it's like, no, man, like I work on everything. Like, right. So you know, definitely a bag I need to get back into. Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Let's see. So with your own music, how often do you like to release songs? Like it seems like your last song came out maybe 2 to 3 years ago, maybe.
Shit, I think it was like 2 years ago. Honestly, I'm thinking probably like next year I'll just like start releasing like singles and shit again just for fucking fun. Right. In terms of like how often, like I don't want to put anything out unless I'm going to like be consistent. And like, that's like for me, like where I'm at right now. I'm just like, okay, cool. Let me just like get 5 or 6 songs that I like, and then I can just be like, okay, cool. Like, I'm just gonna do like a mini rollout. I'm not gonna go over crazy because I have hella shit to do. But just like for myself, creatively, just be like, oh, cool, that was fun to do. Like, so I think before, when I was making music consistently, I would release a song anywhere from like every 2 to 4 months. Like, and as I'm looking at next year, I'm looking at like start of summer to like start putting shit out. And I'll probably like push it out like every 6 weeks or so, just for fucking fun. Like, I'm not doing music videos though, probably not, because like I don't have time for that, and I don't like. I'm not trying to be that kind of artist. I just want to be like a songwriter kind of artist. We just push it out, and it's like, okay, cool, that was a dope song, or like, oh, I didn't like that because it's just I don't really care. Like, I'm just like, okay, cool, like I just did this to keep my brain sharp.
I feel like, yeah, that type of bag is like the best type of bag anyway, because I feel like, okay, you got the songwriting ability, and you got the vocals and everything. You see, and you know instrumentation.
Yeah.
So in production, all of that is very important, and you never know like what that can come from, because somebody can pick you up, any artist or any label, and be like, who is this young?
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's kind of the goal too, is to be able to like, I know, the reason why I decided to add the engineering songwriting shit to the repertoire is because it's just like, I'd say like rappers in particular will kind of like have their guard up if somebody comes into a room and they're like, I'm an artist, and that's like all they are. And if they don't know this nigga, they're like, who the fuck is this nigga? Why the fuck is he in my session? And like, whether they're gangster or not, I've seen that shit happen across the spectrum where they're just like, who the fuck is this nigga and why are they here? Like, but if you come to the room, you're like, yeah, I'm an engineer, I'm a songwriter, I'm a producer, I'm this and that. Oh, okay, all right, dope. Like, okay, like, well, he's just here to help. Like, so I don't know. I'm definitely going to get back into that solo music bag from a perspective of I'm doing this to keep my brain sharp, and also just like, yo, if you need help with songwriting, I'm here. Like, you know, and you know, making that talent more known, because I think the artists who work with me know that, but the artists who don't work with me are just like are outside looking in, are like, oh, he's doing everything just behind the board. So yeah, that's kind of my perspective. It's just like, get in where you fit in. Like, if you need an engineer, cool. If you need a songwriter, cool. You just want me to come listen and give you my opinion, cool. Like, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So, is there a place you see yourself in like 5 years?
5 years.
You plan on be like writing for somebody big, or do you plan on still being an engineer where you are and just be working with a lot of big artists and, you know, just have a higher price point?
I think it's gonna be a mix of both. I definitely know for myself, so 5 years I'll be 30, which is crazy. But you know, 5 years from now, I definitely just want to be in a place where it's like, okay, like, and I already do like have this privilege to an extent of being able to like pick and choose what records I work on or who I work with, but I really just want to have that privilege of being like, okay, cool, like if I'm stepping out the crib, it's because I really want to work with you. Like, so, and from that perspective, I would look at it as just being like, okay, you know, I want to work with this person from a production end. Like, I feel like I can give them a sound that they're not working on but would sound like them. And then I want to work with this person from mixing end because I feel like they have like a great sound. Shit just needs to be tightened up. Like, I don't really want to change what you're doing. Right. I just want to help enhance it. And then the songwriting for me would really be about, of course I love to like write with big artists, like, but for me it's really about helping to develop that next generation. Because like, a lot of artists, even the artists I work with now, like, just need help with understanding form and structure, how to make something catchy. Like, so while I feel like I would, like, you know, definitely if, I don't know, if fucking Travis Scott called me, I'd be like, sure, I'm straight up, I'm right there, like, let's do it, like, fuck it. But for me, it's also just like, you know, I want to help break that next wave of artists.
So 5 years from now, I see myself, I'm definitely gonna have a few plaques. I'm putting that shit out there. Like, I'm gonna have a few fucking plaques. Like, I'm not stopping until that happens. But besides for that, you know, really just like keep my ear to the ground, just trying to figure out, you know, who's next and how to help cultivate them. Because there's like a lot of fucked up people in the music industry, and I just want to help be like a genuine gem. I'm just like, yo, let me help you out. Of course, like, I'm gonna like get a bag off this, but I'm not gonna fuck you over. Like, I'm not gonna 80-20 you. Like, 80% me, 20% me, you. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Like just give me 10 or whatever. But like, you know, like just being, you know, I don't know. I just want to be a good mentor at that point too. So I feel like I'm still. I mean, if you ask the 18-year-olds in my life, I'm old as fuck. But I'm still young, so I still have like a lot to learn and shit. Right. So 5 years from now, plaques, help break artists, and like helping work with the big boys. You know, mostly from like a production end or, you know, mixing end.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's see if I got. Let's see. Oh, so do you plan on going on some tours with some people in the future?
Definitely, you know, in the future, it's like budgets allow, you know, because that's really what it's about. Is it's just like, you know, artists just have to have the budget to do so. Like one of my mentors in this is Poppy Beats. Like, you know, Saba's engineer, worked with Vic hella. And for like Saba's tour, like his latest one, you know, Poppy was on tour doing live sound and everything. Like had a few conversations about like what that experience was like for him. And you know, just from like seeing that and like hearing how good Saba and Co sound like live, I've been like, okay, cool. Like I didn't even realize that was an option that a studio engineer could go on the road. So that opened my eyes to a lot. So like, you know, as an artist I work with, you know, go on tour and like seeing what their budgets are like. If their budget allows for it, like cool. Like if it doesn't, but they would like still pay for my hotel shit. Like if I can finesse it like the right way financially, then yeah, sure, it'd be a fucking awesome experience. Are you kidding me? Because then you get to like be the go-to person on tour when they're also in the studio recording. Like, because when artists go out of town, I'm dealing with this right now with like one act in particular, like because I have to like mix their upcoming project. It's like, damn, these mixes sound crazy and not in a good way. Like it's just like this. Like I see what you guys are going for, but it's gonna take a lot of time to get the record to sound like what it's supposed to sound. Right. Because the engineer was just pressing 3 and dragging it down. Like, so, yeah, I definitely would fucking love to do that because, like, that would be a blast. Like, you know, not many engineers get to say they, like, got to go on tour and shit. Like, that'd be fucking fun as shit. Are you kidding me? Like, you know?
Yeah, that's dope. I ain't really got nothing else for you, but,
hey, man.
This has been a beautiful experience.
Thank you.
You're gonna go far.
Thank you, man. I appreciate
like,
that.
Seriously, like your vision is crazy. It's crazy.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it.
You're gonna do amazing things. You're already doing it. If you want to give shout outs, you can.
Shit, man. Gotta shout out my mom. Because without her, she forced me to play violin. Without her, I wouldn't be doing any of this. So shout out to her. Shout out to my big brother Shaw, who's the first person who took me to a studio. Also would not be doing this if not for him. And then shout out to the whole No More Heroes crew. Appreciate you guys, Laka, Brandon, everybody involved. Love you guys hella. Shout out to Pivot Gang. They also have been super instrumental and super helpful in all this. And then shout out to all the artists I work with, from, you know, MG to Fine Art, DCG Brothers, you know, to everybody. Like, if I'm forgetting anybody, I apologize. Like, but for real, like, just shout out to everybody. Oh, and last one, shout out to my boy, Muddy Gold. He's been taught me how to produce. And also Danny Pittman from Food Gang. He also taught me a lot about producing and shit. So, you know, it takes a village. Definitely did not get here alone, and definitely not staying here alone. So shout out to them, yo. Like, and shout outs to you, man. What the fuck? Like, shout out to you. Like, best podcast in Chicago. What the fuck? Shout outs to him. Like, come the fuck on. Like, look.
I did not put him up to that. He said that.
He didn't. I stand on that. Look. So shout outs. Love everybody I just mentioned. Have a beautiful day, y'all.